So recently there was the Osaka Auto Show, and we were there just sort of hanging out, and then came across this, and it is the Hyundai Inster. And admittedly, it's not an EV that I've heard of. Now, I can say, living here in Japan, that I have seen some examples from non domestic automakers who are really trying to make inroads into the Japanese auto market with their EVs, and that would be BYD, Tesla, and now Hyundai. Now, in one of our previous videos, we test drove the Hyundai Ioniq 5 and really enjoyed that experience. So when we saw the Inster at the show, it really got our attention. So much so that I decided to do a walk around of the vehicle to really see what it's all about, considering that I haven't heard of it. So, what is the Hyundai Inster? Well, it is a compact EV, and really it's meant for sort of young urban types who really sort of don't need to drive long distances but need the versatility, whether it's going out with friends or being able to put cargo inside the vehicle. And the Hyundai Inster ticks all of those boxes. So, what do we know about the Hyundai Inster? Well, the first thing is, let's talk about driving range. First thing is that the Inster is available in a 42 kilowatt hour variant and a 49 kilowatt hour variant. And what that really means in terms of real world terms is 180 miles of driving range, or 200 kilometers. And then there's also the longer range version, which will give you a range of up to 200 miles or 320 kilometers. Now, the Hyundai Inster is available in three trims. In Western markets, it's the Inster 1, the Inster 2, and the Inster Cross. But here in Japan, it's called the Inster Casual, the Inster Lounge, and the Inster Voyage. So they are the same vehicle overall, but they've been given different designations for the various markets. So in Japan, as I described to you, Hyundai, obviously with the Inster, is targeting a segment that was badly overlooked in this transition to EVs, and that is the affordable compact car segment. A lot of automakers focused on the premium segment during the big push in the transition to EVs, and there wasn't the demand that they had anticipated, and a lot of automakers really suffered in that segment, forcing them to rethink their EV plans. And many of them are struggling to develop and actually bring an affordable EV to market. Now, that's all well and good as it relates to the opportunities for the Hyundai Inster. And even as it relates to Tesla, there's still been the long awaited compact version of a Tesla. So something that really sort of slots under the Tesla Model 3. And it looks like Hyundai is addressing that with the Inster. But for the Japan market, the Inster could actually present a major challenger and also a threat to their K dosha segment, or K segment. Now, K means light car, and these vehicles are exclusive to the Japanese auto market. And there are also some real standards that really define what this segment means. So, number one, the vehicles can't be longer than 11 feet or 3.3 meters. They can't be wider than 4.9 feet or 1.8 meters. And then also in terms of height, they can't be taller than 6 feet or roughly 2 meters. Now, if you look at the specifications of the Inster, it almost ticks all of those boxes. It is slightly longer than 11 feet, but as it relates to the width, axle to axle, the Inster actually fits within the K-dosha specifications at roughly 1500 millimeters. Now, when you actually put the tires on it, it extends to roughly about 1700 millimeters. Now, in terms of the overall height, no problem there. The Inster is within the height targets for the K dosha segment. Now, that does not mean that it will be classified as a K car in Japan, but it will present a real threat to these K cars because, number one, the K cars are limited to 660 cc's in terms of engine displacement. Now, the Inster, being an electric vehicle, obviously can produce much more power than that, and is obviously going to be much more efficient when it comes to driving up and down hills or various types of terrain, as well as cruising along highways. Living here in Japan, I don't think that K cars are well suited to highways. So when you take something like the Inster, which is very comparable in size, that's obviously going to be a very compelling alternative to individuals who really favor that type of car here in Japan, but want something that's more capable on the open road. And then also there is the real sort of challenge for this particular segment in Japan, and one that has really gained increasing attention over, and that is the emissions from these K vehicles. Given that they really don't generate a lot of power, but how popular they are, they do contribute quite heavily to CO2 emissions, especially in urban environments. And this is something that even the delivery companies have really been pushing to find a solution over. So, namely Yamato Transport or Sagawa. Most recently, Sagawa has actually looked into the possibility of deploying Chinese-made EVs to address their last mile delivery solution. And if you recall, when I was at the Tokyo Mobility Show in 2023, we looked at some solutions from Daihatsu as well as Honda with their K solutions that are really meant for last mile delivery solutions or local types of routes that these type of vehicles are really adapted to. Now, here's some background about the K market. The K market is quite large here in Japan. It actually represents 1/3 of the auto market. So these vehicles are quite popular. And Daihatsu is the leader in this market, as well as Suzuki. These types of vehicles are used for last mile deliveries as well as construction type of work in this market. And so there are some real opportunities for the K-Dosha segment for a company like Hyundai with their Inster. Now, in terms of the passenger car market, the most popular option is the Honda N-Box. That is the best-selling car over the last couple of years in the K segment. They sell roughly 220,000 units a year. So here we are with the Inster, and it will be interesting to see, given its overall profile in terms of how it really compares to a K car, and the fact that it is an electric vehicle, what types of challenges that might present to the traditional K segment here in Japan. Now, as a vehicle owner in Japan, you must have a place to park the vehicle. That is a requirement for vehicle ownership in this country. And that is a major challenge as it relates to the transition toward electrification. So it will be interesting to see how Hyundai overcomes that. And they will rely a bit on the features of the vehicle in terms of the flexibility that it affords as it relates to it being an electric vehicle, the advantages that it has over a K vehicle, and obviously the maneuverability along Japanese roads compared to a K vehicle, which it matches up quite favorably. So that will be interesting to see. And then obviously Hyundai will need the assistance of the Japanese government and its prefectures to really support policies or promote policies that enable the uptake of electric vehicles. So namely, providing the accommodations for EV charging infrastructure, as well as the types of mandates that are necessary to support EVs. So vehicle charging solutions in the home, particularly for new constructions. Let's get back to the Inster. So the Inster overall, pretty cool car. I was immediately drawn to it at the Osaka Auto Show. The real sort of key thing was just its overall styling. And I thought the Inster was quite a striking vehicle and would appeal to quite a broad segment of the market. And based on my observations at the Osaka Auto Show, there was quite a bit of popularity. Also, I spoke with some Hyundai representatives, and they said that the vehicle has been received well in Japan so far. Now, it's not actually available here. It'll be available in April, so roughly 2 months away from the time of this filming. We'll see the Inster available and potentially on Japanese roads. Now, in terms of what you actually get, the Inster will start at roughly $23,000 US and slot at just under $30,000 US when you get into the Inster Voyage spec, as I mentioned earlier. So that's definitely within the price point for many Japanese auto buyers. And then when you consider some of the advantages you gain in terms of electrification, again, that can make the Inster a very compelling option. Now, in terms of the interior, it was quite simple. You had sort of the layout with your climate control and a minimalist sort of driving position, or sort of driver control position. You have dual 10.25-inch LED displays, one for driving information, the other for infotainment. Now, when you get up to the lounge spec, you get things like LED headlights as well as heated seats. And then also you get the upgrade to 17-inch wheels. And then if you go with the Voyage version, you actually get a moonroof option, which also includes some of the options from the Inster Casual as well as the Inster Lounge. And so you do get some variety in terms of what is available to you across the 3 different specifications. And this matches up with the specs available in Western markets with the Inster 1, Inster 2, and the Inster Cross. In terms of what you get with the Inster, you do get some smart functions as it relates to being able to live with the vehicle every day. So you can unlock the Inster with your smartphone or your Apple Watch. There's also surround view monitoring, where you can get a 360-degree view of the vehicle. You also get parking assist, or at least warning sensors when you're moving the vehicle in tight spaces so you can avoid collision. There's blind spot monitoring, and you also have some level of driver assist with some autonomy. So there's one pedal driving, which obviously is great for the regenerative braking effect, where you can charge the battery, but then there's also lane keeping assist with the Inster as well. So Hyundai clearly has sort of try to offer a lot in a very small package at an affordable price point. So Hyundai has designed the Inster with versatility in mind, and that extends to the interior, where you can have different seating configurations. The seats fold flat, so you can have the 0-seat configuration with all of the seats folded flat. So you could put a mattress on top of the seats, say if you're camping. But then there's the 2-seat, 3-seat, and 4-seat configuration. So depending on the type of cargo that you're trying to carry or the passengers that you're trying to carry, you have quite a bit of versatility with the Inster. One of the other things that the Inster offers is personalization. So you have a customizable interior lighting profile that you can use up to 64 colors to personalize the interior of the Inster. So again, for those who are very high on individuality or personalization, you have that option as well. And one of the really convenient features that I saw at the Osaka Auto Show with the Inster are the sliding rear seats. Those seats slide up to 16 centimeters or 6.5 inches. So that really offers some versatility as it relates to accommodating passengers comfortably or even cargo. The rear of the Inster's cargo was quite shallow and doesn't offer a lot of versatility, but if there's the combination of passengers and cargo, those sliding seats will really come in handy. From an exterior perspective, the Inster is the typical crossover, which has quite a unique look. You have some of that matrix lighting, and then also you've got really sort of a very sort of open cabin as well to allow the driver to be able to see around the vehicle. And then there's the roof rack, which allows the versatility of the Inster, whether it's carrying cargo or going on something like a camping trip. And that's really sort of what the Inster Cross is to really cater to sort of that active lifestyle or that outdoor lifestyle, giving you the diversity of options for the various types of things that an Inster owner might want to do. And then finally, there is what Hyundai calls V2L, or vehicle to load. And what that allows an Inster owner to do is to plug into the vehicle's charging port using some sort of inverter device where the vehicle can be used to power electronic devices. So certainly in a field situation, let's say you're using it as a some sort of pop-up type of store or something like that. You can use the Inster to power your appliances, or if you're camping, you can use the Inster to power your camping devices. It goes without saying that the Korean automakers are serious about electrification, and we've seen that with the Hyundai Ioniq 5, Kia EV6, and now Hyundai Inster. And their cars are quite well regarded. But beyond the actual EVs they produce, they are also vertically integrated. They have the software, they have the development and product plans, as well as the battery technology to really make a strong push into electrification and be quite competitive. And as it relates to their plans for the Japanese market, their Japanese counterparts do not at the moment. The Japanese automakers have been quite slow on the uptake or transition to electrification, and that includes Toyota, Honda, and Nissan. And so it'll be interesting to see what vehicles like the Hyundai Inster do in this market, whether they can actually shift the mindset of Japanese consumers who do have a high preference for domestic brands. And so the Inster is definitely something to pay attention to and see what the possibilities are for it in the Japanese market in the future. So that's our introduction to the Hyundai Inster. Let us know what you think, whether this car will move things in the right direction for the EV market overall. As always, thanks for watching. And if you haven't already, be sure to hit that like button. And if you haven't subscribed, be sure to hit that subscribe button. We'll see you in the next video soon.